So welcome back. My name is Paul. I make a lot of videos on YouTube, and many of them are not in sequence. So if anybody's joining me for the first time, I just have discussions about a variety of subjects, particularly about what's going on in the world around us and interesting mysteries, ancient civilizations, and so on. And in the previous segment, I was talking about how we have power individually to counteract all the quote evil, nasty people. I just like to call them nasty, the nasty beings. They don't care about life. And there's ways, and one way is to be aware and what's in our environment. And we can, first of all, to stay healthy and to stay aware, we can be more conscious about what's in our environment that's not healthy for us. Now, it's not necessary to get into a bunch of rules about what people should do and should drink and not eat and whatever and all that stuff. It's just basically common sense. For example, if our body needs really good water, then why don't we just give it as plenty of good clean water as you can without additives? Let the cells do their thing, let the body cleanse itself, and avoid the crap. And if there's toxins and stuff that are put in the bottles and you have questions about and aspartame and flouride and all this stuff, you say, well, I don't need that. That's not something I need. Just don't drink it. So we have a power of our own decisions. Now, I was also talking about electronic pollution. There's a lot of electrical pollution in our environment. Even if you live in a small home, in many parts of the world, they have 220 volts at the outlets. 220 volts is enough to kill somebody. And for that reason, of course, electricians have modified and they have rules about grounding something, for example. And then in the modern world, we came up with the 110 volt system. We realized, well, the machines we make in the old days, if you had a washing machine, it was a monster. If you had a refrigerator, it just sucked down that electricity. And nowadays, they have ways of doing things. And so, our devices don't use as much power. So, to keep in mind that there's 100 amps in a typical house, there's a lot of power just kind of waiting there as potential. Now, when electricity goes through a cord, it completes a circuit, turns on a bulb or makes a motor go on or something, it has a way to go, and those, say a motor will produce some electric waves as well, some fields, and that's kind of disturbing. But then, when you're not plugging something in the wall, there's a potential. There's a potential energy there that builds up, and typically in a typical house, they're grounded out through, many different grounds. But basically, the whole, certainly an office building and a typical house has a whole bunch of wires with quite a bit of power going through it, like a grid. It's like a three-dimensional grid in every typical house. Something we don't see, we don't think about very often. Now, we live in those grids. We have to cover, wires that are involved in in housing, protect them from rats, protect them from fire. But they don't necessarily have to be protected in a way that they don't produce those electric fields. Because as soon as something's on, just stop and think about it for a second. Let's say you have like a place in the house where four walls meet, and in the middle there's a conduit, and that conduit is running AC current basically 24/7 to all the different devices in the bedrooms and clocks and whatnots around. So there's a sort of like a field. We're involved in a field basically. So now the thing is, by having plants in your house, by getting good prana energy, by laying around out in the grass in the fields and taking walks and getting our whole electrical system really powerful and strong, then we can ground ourselves and prevent some of the damage. Now, also in the things that we eat, getting back to water, things that we have in our food, in our body has to be polarized and grounded. That's why it's good to have in your home stones, something connected directly to earth. And I encourage people to watch a series I'm making on the human aura and electric field. A lot of people know about this. I have my own 2 cents to put in about it, with a different point of view, from the different studies that I've done. And we have to watch out for what's in the environment. So basically we have the toxins in the food and the water. By the way, getting back to food, food is medicine and medicine is food. All the doctors have to go to school and they say, hey, gee, the founder of modern medicine, he said, guess what he said? Just your food is your medicine and your medicine is your food. Okay, native peoples knew that. They had all kinds of plants. They say, okay, that's our food and our medicine. Now, modern people go, okay, now my food is a TV dinner and my medicine is down at the local drugstore, or I take a pill to feel good about myself and try to cover up the pain that I feel from not eating very good food. Now, if you eat really good food and drink clean water and walk and just do some modest exercise, right away, that simple thing will allow you to feel better, think better, live longer, and feel more content. Now, so again, things that are around us. Now, what do we bring? I mean, in our personal life, if we start off our day with meditation, with calmness, with some group activity, with some family connecting to each other, with some hugs or something, we start our days with harmony and joy. Somehow start that way. Try to go through the day that way. If it didn't happen during the day, at the end of the day, take a moment, say, okay, let's try to get in harmony. Let's try to resolve something. Just take a day like that every day. I imagine, if we all did that, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. So basically, to fight back the ignorance and the darkness, and we just have to be aware. We have to be healthy and content. And then you don't have to buy the stuff that the salesman's selling you that you don't need. Say, thank you very much, but I'm good. Take it easy. Just go on by, So now I have to make more segments because the YouTube limit in terms of time, but I always appreciate hearing feedback. I got this new system here. I got another computer now that I can, and when I travel, I can make videos, and I'm eager to get feedback. And if you hear of some good places to subscribe to on YouTube, let me know. Thanks.